Hello again. OBS said something funny. Anyway, never mind. Hello again. Today I'm going to be watching Tracer and Chesstick play their match. League. Chesstick requested commentary from somebody, so good time, so I'm going to do it. I also noticed something sort of interesting, which is that this C division, Chesstick requested commentary for 2 matches this week, one against Tracer, then another one against Crabcat. And so I noticed that this division actually has the most previous league champions in it of any division this season. It was just an interesting thing that Chesstick asked for those 2 matches. And interesting in quotes, it was interesting enough for me to comment on it apparently. So let's look at this board. They have no village effects besides procession. But there is a good gainer and decent 5, so you expect procession to be pretty important here. Obviously Ironworks procession can do quite a lot of stuff here. It shouldn't be too long of a board. I think Ironworks Chapel looks pretty clear. You would expect to mostly use your $5 buys on collections and then use your procession gaining to get $5 action cards. So I would, and then eventually there would be some big procession turn that 3 piles. Tracer gets the worst chapel draw. We'll see if Chesstick bottom decks their Ironworks. Maybe it's still okay for Tracer. But the this is a much, so Chesstick doesn't get to add a card to their deck here, but did get to trash an additional card. Probably that favors Chesstick. It's not totally clear, actually. They kind of split the bad luck there. Tracer goes with Watchtower. I'm not sure. The 3s are not very good. I mean, Watchtower can be okay later. But the 3s are definitely kind of the weak part of the chaining. You'd really rather just be getting the $4 cards. Any of them. Tracer collides again. I guess you just take, I don't know, Tracer might take a 4 here. I'm not sure that he will. He may just take the arena points. Chesstick surely will just trash and take the arena points. At least that seems pretty clear to me. You do, I guess you're going to use Gladiator to buy your collection at some point. You may want to hold on to a couple coppers for that purpose, though you can also procession the Gladiator, and then you don't have to hold on to anything. In both those cases, you do have to get a reveal that works, though. Otherwise, you need more money somehow. I mean, you could procession the Gladiator and have a copper. Or if you get Wine Merchant, then that's another way. So there are a few different paths to getting the economy, but neither one had like super great draws so far. Tracer, I'm sure, is just counting his money because Tracer is, well, they're both approaching this point, but you're approaching basically what happens at the start of a donate game, where you can know what your hands are going to be and then figure out how you want to, at least for a turn or two, figure out what the best option is to sequence everything. It's not my favorite thing to do in Dominion. I like it, every now and again, but it does feels like a bog, and it's hard because there's going to be some good and bad way to go about it. So you really feel like you need to spend the time to get it right. Which is different from like just choosing your buys normally in a bigger deck where you're just kind of trying to do it by feel a little bit more, which I find less frustrating. Even though I guess it's technically a little less tractable when you're doing that. The Tracer doesn't trash at all because of money considerations. I find that sort of hard to believe that you don't want to trash the estates, but I don't know. I guess if you know you're going to get through it here, then it's fine. Like, I don't know if his next hand was guaranteed. I guess it was. Well, no, he shuffled. But these were on top. At least some of that stuff was on top. So I guess you can know that you can draw it up. So you might as well take the points and know you're going to be able to play the chapel. I guess the only question is whether it stopped him from doing some gain and play here, which I think it might. And that's not great. That's not super great. So I'm not convinced, but I could be convinced, but I'm not convinced at the moment that Tracer doesn't want to trash some cards there. We'll see what happens on his turn. I think you could get Wine Merchant or Council Room. I think both are probably fine. Maybe it's a Wine Merchant at this stage, yeah. Tracer is going to do quite a bit here. I don't think it's a pile out yet, but we're not far from it. I guess there's maybe a world where you get to do the estates. Maybe it's just a pile out. Does this empty the council rooms? I mean, he's got a points lead, so. I've lost a little bit of track of the. He's not processioning though, right? He's just doing procession ironworks. He's not. The processions aren't being trashed, so he's not gonna gain a bunch of. And you didn't get up to. You could have gotten up to 16, right? Pretty easily. Maybe you didn't have the draw for it. But this is like. I mean, you just have to score a lot, but. Maybe it's fine, though. I find that very hard to believe. It might end up being fine just because chesstick doesn't have the fuel at the start here. Tracer needs to have at least one procession in his top 2 cards, though, or he's also just stuck. So the problem for chesstick is points, I guess. Well, even gaining the council, I mean, 2 council rooms is easy, but then you still need to get more. So then the question is, do you do that at all? So then you might be looking at states, which I think is also doable, but not. That's a tie. If you empty estates and get the, or no, you need a duchy, and then the arena points wouldn't even matter. Oh yeah, they would. So anyway, the arena would get you a win by 2. So can you do procession, wine merchant, procession, ironworks for estate gains? Gain another wine merchant. Gets you up to $14. That leaves you like $3 short. I mean, it gives you enough, and that doesn't even give you enough buys, does it? You'd only be up to that wouldn't be enough buys. I don't think it works. So then you need an extra turn. You need an additional turn, which means what do you do if you just know you need another turn? Like you just buy province, take the arena points. You have to be in a position to pile out on your following turn too, otherwise you're still just gonna lose when Tracer gets a big turn and does procession stuff and gains wine merchants and plays 50 wine merchants at the end. This is just even assuming Tracer has a dud here, which he would need to have like no processions on top, which is possible. He's not gonna have 2 duds. If he plays the secret passage and doesn't see any processions, he's gonna top deck the council room and probably get there. The chesstick needs to like chesstick needs to lower something a little bit so that if he does just take a province here on his next turn, he's in a position to get a pile out. But that's hard too, because then you lose a lot of your stuff. And like I said, it's still contingent on Tracer not having a turn, because Tracer's gonna, I mean, at the very least, top deck council room and score 2 arena points. I wonder if there was a point where Tracer could have gotten the procession stuff going, or if he was always stuck in this kind of awkward. It would have to be somewhere in here, but maybe you needed to have 3 processions in hand already. I feel like this path doesn't work, but I don't know. If you don't get, like I said, if you don't put yourself in a spot to 3-pile your next turn, it doesn't work. Tracer will pop off before that happens. There's nothing to it. I think you even have to lower the I think you have to lower the council rooms here. If you do this, I think it has to be double council room games. Not this. I'm like 90% sure the wine merchant gains have to be council room gains. So at least on your next turn, you have the 2 coppers. I mean, it doesn't guarantee it, but it makes it very, very likely. It's not guaranteed, I don't think, but like it's very close to. Five buys here, but again, just scoring isn't good enough because when Tracer has his turn, he gets a big wine merchant turn and can outscore you. So you have to have put yourself in a position where you can win on your next turn if Tracer does, and I don't think. Well, I just know Folivor isn't gonna have the stuff for that now because the processions are gone. So you had to already lower the council rooms. This just won't work. Yeah. Tracer has proc, so it's not even hard. It's funny no one actually had a window where they gained a collection. If like it wouldn't have been crazy for the path of the game to be such that you were able to fit in one collection. And then like Tracer's big turn would be like it would have been like, 15 more points or something as well. So 15. He probably didn't gain 15 actually. No. Actually probably was pretty close. Well, oh yeah, I forgot how collection works. It's not during your turn. Maybe collection never matters there. I always think of it like groundskeeper or goons, but it's not like that. So yeah, maybe collection never ever matters. I guess you could maybe make it. I don't know. I don't think you have a window. Yeah, I take it all back. All right, we have a travelers stuff. I don't think anything with Guildhall here is like quick enough to not do the engine. Well, I think it's like peasant salvager or peasant settlers. Or double peasant. I guess you could do double peasant. I mean, you could get a silver too. I wouldn't be mad about a silver. The 5s are very good. They both go peasant salvager. Chesstick gets the 5 draw, which is nice. You just take a seer first here. But pretty soon can be thinking about really any of the 5s potentially. Certainly the captain stuff's going to be pretty important, although the settlers could easily fly, in which case then you don't want a bunch of captains, but still like 1 or 2 might be okay. I mean, it's not impossible that there's never a window where the captain looks much appealing. That wouldn't surprise me. Chesstick took Seer and Tracer goes Peasants Soldier, which is good. Double Seller, yeah, that seems good. Reasonable in any case. I would expect Chesstick to take another Seer here. Though you can think about doing one of the other ones. Where one of the other ones, I mean swap or wheelwright. It's not a great window for swap at the moment. Or wheelwright, honestly. You need, for swap, you either need to have more junk or you just need, I mean, you can swap out the sellers, would be pretty good. I mean, you can just toss the salvager, yeah. I think it'll matter. You don't want to you want to make sure you don't trigger the shuffle, but I think you can put that there and be fine. Alright, get another 5. I think still probably just a Seer. Maybe swap. You can swap out your settlers and then rebuy it, which is not crazy. I don't think I'm super interested in third peasant here, though that would be the other option, right? Besides the 5, go peasant settlers. And that's not crazy. I don't know if I would do it, but it's totally reasonable. I think this is probably just a disciple board. I don't think you take the turn to get the teacher down and play it and call it. And of course, it's one of those boards where if you had the teacher, it would do great things for you. But whether it does more than the disciple in the meantime is a little bit hard. The chesstick, pretty bad reshuffle. If I were chesstick, I would take a peasant here. Pretty easily. You just want to get that line going in. I'm assuming. I guess I don't know who has the peasant right now. I mean, if chesstick already has a peasant, then it's not super critical. But this is going to look really bad if all you do is you draw through your deck here and you don't have a peasant. But I may have missed and I may be wrong about who has the peasant. I thought it was Tracer, but maybe it's chesstick. In which case, the sellers is perfectly fine. We'll find out in a second. Tracer draws. Stick draw. And we'll know after Tracer's hand. I guess it must be chesstick. Well, yeah, okay. Okay, no. So I don't agree then. I think that, like, look what's going to happen here. You're going to end up overdrawing. You should play one sellers now. You're going to end up drawing deck. And I mean, there's no reason not to just draw these cards. You can keep a seer on top. You should play the seer, yeah. No, shouldn't have top decked the seer. That was bad. You could have left a seer on top here. That was misplay. Now you might have had to leave it on top with a copper, but I still think that's better than none. Well, that's not totally clear, but probably. Yeah, you really wish you were playing a peasant this turn, in my opinion. Much more than the salvager. I don't like the captain at all. What are you playing it on? Peasant, you can't exchange it. You're just playing it on peasants. It's not good as a salvager. I mean, salvager, you don't care at this point. I don't like the captain. I really, 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 really don't like the captain. I mean, I guess you can swap. I mean, you can be really, really fancy and get a cat. I guess you can swap the settlers and then play the captain as settlers, and then next turn you can play it as a peasant. But I don't know. It's just, I'm really not. I mean, at least they bought a swap so they can maybe get a peasant, but not going down the line to get more disciples looks like a big mistake to me. The big advantage, of course, is that he's just like so far drawn quite a bit better than Tracer. Forgot. We can, yeah, we can disciple the seer again. This is so sad to have the 2 turns now. Have they swapped yet? Haven't swapped yet. You like really need to play a peasant, I think. You really needed to play peasant last turn. Wonder if you get a wheelwright anytime soon. Or the witch's hut. Not bad, but not amazing either. That was kind of weird. That was pretty weird order. This is all very weird. You need to buy way more than you need. No. No. You need to buy way more than you need to curse. This would be one of those which is either giving Tracer hope or like making him sad because he thinks he's still gonna lose, but this can't have been the play. I don't. Yeah, I think if you're Tracer, yeah, I think you can still hold on. But no, that Tracer doesn't even have a captain. Who cares if the sellers are there or not? Oh, I would probably buy a swap here or wheelwright. But maybe just, you don't really have to just straight up buy the peasant necessarily because you can get it other ways. I would have certainly gotten by and bought peasant plus whatever 5 at the end there, and I would have done different stuff in the middle of the turn. But no. Capital's so bad. Capital's so bad. You're not action limited, so like peasant is, or you shouldn't be action limited here. So peasant is just straight up. You're not trying to spike anything. I mean, I get it that capital, in theory can be a little better, but for the most part, I think peasant is just outclassing capital here. What you kind of would want capital for. I don't know. Tracer's okay, gets a swap out. And maybe Tracer's still okay. I mean, it hurts to have however many turns that chesstick here is going to have double disciples for before you do anything. The chesstick has a terrible hand here, so maybe he gets nothing. Maybe they get nothing. Oh, they got a teacher? I didn't even see that. Thank you, Foley. Or I did not even see that. Yeah, I just don't like it. At least now, we may still have time. I mean, it may still just work out time-wise. This turn already can't go anywhere. I mean, you can disciple the witch's hut, I guess, and give a couple curses. That's not terrible. You at least already got the buy. May get to your capital. That's actually not a totally terrible turn to do disciple witch's hut, give out 2 curses, and buy 2 or 3 nice things. Since you're going to see almost all the deck here. That's okay. And it's not like it matters. It's not like you probably draw the teacher dead or something, but it doesn't matter. You're mostly drawing deck. You can get some bustling villages. And then you'll be able to draw with the witches' huts you've gained. I guess you play on there a little bit more like chesstick did. I don't know that there were outs that actually get you there, but keep the teacher in hand just for sentimental reasons. I mean, obviously it didn't matter. Yeah, I'm probably going double bustling peasant still. I still think peasant to get a soldier at the very least. You probably don't have time now to get the disciple, but soldier can still do some good stuff here. Okay, they do buy that. Is what I wanted, and that's nice. This is a pretty scary hand for chesstick because it's not like there's a bunch of mounts here. You can swap for one something, swap the salvager for something drawy, but you're only going to look at a couple, 2 or 3 more cards. We may get to a 3 pile, which is, I guess it's not surprising that this board 3 piles, but it's kind of surprising the manner in which it 3 piles, which I would normally have expected it to be due to big time action gaining. I would have expected the 5s, just 3 $5 piles to get slammed, but here it looks like we may get the curses gone before that happens. Man, I don't like the captain. I just keep seeing the captain. I need to get over it and focus on what the deck is now. If chesstick has a bustling village in the top, then something. I think you just go ahead and play. So. Okay, that's nice. I would swap for another. I would swap salvager or peasant. I guess. I don't know. I don't feel real strongly, but just in interest of drawing on, swap is your best bet. Because then if you see bustling or witch's hut on top with the seer, you can get the other one. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, this is the problem. I mean, obviously, my way doesn't help you either, but chesstick had to see witch's hut for that to work out. Whereas if you get a swap, you can swap. You can just cover whichever option actually shows up. Now you do lose the peasant, which of course could be bad. So still not playing teacher. Did Tracer move to fugitive? Yeah, but still before the actual disciple comes. There's another swamp. I think that's fine. I don't feel super strongly about this buy, to be honest. Doesn't move the needle much in any case. We'll see if Tracer finds a village or disciple or something in time here. Well, that second seer did some real work. Okay, so Tracer's gonna kick off. Pretty easily. Tracer might want to score a little bit here. I don't know, with 6 debt, maybe there's not much threat, but I'd be a little worried about lowering the curses. Unless I mean, as long as you score, it's fine. Or should be fine. But if you don't score, it's just like asking to lose on the spot. Unless Tracer's just winning on the spot, which is possible as well. Maybe this just wins. Yeah, this was just a win. There you go. Yeah, I think chesstick got ahead there and basically made choices that cost that game. I think they were. I mean, there was some shuffling, of course. It wasn't. The decks weren't fully controlled, so it wasn't purely choices. But I think the choices chesstick made winning a lot harder there, and I think they were in a position to win for sure. They just had a lot of seers and were further along in the travelers quite a bit earlier than Tracer was. Which I think you should be able to convert that to a win. Okay, this is a sort of weird board. I mean, I would just start doing stuff and see what happened. I don't have a big plan. I mean, I would open with a bounty hunter and then, either do the silver or do the ducat. Yeah, I think the ducat's fine. As long as you get a bounty hunter, I don't feel super mad about other things. Tracer has butcher. Chesstick. This is the kind of the awkwardness of the ducat is you're just netting a coffer here, and there's not even a good buy. Like, you don't want to. I don't think you spin a coffer just to, or I don't think you buy another ducat to trash a copper here. You could, but pretty underwhelming. This is just kind of underwhelming hand in general. What you want to. Like for Tracer's gonna do that, which I also don't actually feel that good about, to be honest. I kind of would rather just see a silver. Like, you're not gonna use 3 buys, probably ever, but not for a long time. And you're still gonna want to buy a $5 or $6 card, so the silvers are perfectly good. I mean, I see the appeal of the ducats, but it's still not that exciting. Tracer has the bad, and I'm sure he'll do the copper trash thing, which I get it. It like, oh, I didn't do it. That's good. I was convinced we would be going more ducat stuff. I like the horde a lot better. I don't think you should treat this board like you're gonna build forever. You just want to get into a position to be able to do some nice things and then take some green cards. There's almost no. I mean, I guess if your opponent doesn't touch the nobles and you get 8 of them, you can do a draw deck, but it's pretty much the only circumstance under which that is exciting, or which that works. Then you can train them, and then they look pretty good. You're only going to get 3 or, I mean, you're not going to get more than 5 of them, I don't think. Like, ever. Fisher now gets to exile the state and get another gold nobles pair. I mean, can't talk. The gold nobles pair is obviously quite nice with the butcher. Chesstick already has hit the money bounties, so. I don't know if they fall. I'm not sure following on horde for chesstick at this stage is super, super good. I'm not sure. Or if you just take the nobles, but it's probably okay. I'm not holding a real good picture of chesstick's deck in my brain right now. I have a little better sense of tracers. Now I don't know for tracer if you or if you convert the gold, or if you do. I guess you can get 2 of them, so you probably just do that. You have exact money to get 2 of them, so you probably just get 2 of them. Yeah, because then you have a real shot at getting the split. Not that the split matters, but they're pretty good cards. This will be nobles for chesstick. We'll see if Tracer trains. I would, that doesn't quite get you there. That's unfortunate. I was going to say, I mean, they were just $1 off from being able to butcher the bounty hunter into nobles and train, but they were $1 short, so, or at least $1. I didn't count. I don't think. I think I counted real good there. But I think what Tracer did looks fine too, or looks pretty good. And double, does chesstick double get 3, 4, 5, 6? You can't quite double province. That's unfortunate. Well, you can if you change horde, but that probably doesn't help you. You probably want to do it with the horde. You don't have enough for that. They're not far from it. I guess you don't even have it with. You don't even have it if you do horde, do you? I'm bad at counting. I actually feel like you're probably better off doing what Tracer did in bounty huntering the ducat there. You're likely not getting use out of the coffers over the course of the game that you'll get out of 3 more bucks right now. Because what, are you going to spend 3 coffers? Yeah. There's no shot. There's just no shot it's not bounty hunter or ducat. No way. Oh. How many? Thanks, Blake. Then never mind. I'm full of it. I think I'd have to change it to thinking about just butchering the bounty hunter then. But I didn't look at all those lines, so it could just be way, way off. This one's always going to be weird because it doesn't. You still have to just draw the right hands at the end of the game, or you lose. You know? Like, we could just have a hand here where Tracer doesn't find Butcher, and so Tracer can't double province, and chesstick, takes. Probably doesn't double, but. Like, if chesstick doubles now and then gets one more province, the score may just be kind of rough for Tracer. I don't know, chesstick is taking province or not. Just taking duchy. They're going for it. I think I like this, though. I am obviously cheating. I can see Tracer's hand. This doesn't double, does it? It's a silver. Silver's the best for scoring, or for that, not for scoring, but for money. See, 3, 6, 8, 10, 4, 10, 12. So just 12. Didn't quite get there. So it's like it's pretty hard for Tracer to buy provinces now. Tracer has to double duchy. So then chesstick gets the second to last province here easy, and then Tracer. I mean, this hand is not straight up just not good for scoring if you're Tracer. Like, it's just not. Just buy the province, save the coffers. There's no. I don't think a state. I guess if you're worried about duchy province. Yeah, okay, that's fair. All right, I can accept the estate. It does make things a little hairier on the shuffle, but yeah, I don't think that matters. JC Thrust it's true, but it's mostly about the losing the coffers, I think, and just the points issues. Now, of course, we all know that Tracer doesn't have province duchy, so but chesstick doesn't, so this may be a board where 5-3 on nobles is worse than 3-5. I could believe that. At least if you don't train them or something so that you're getting a little more value out of the split. All right, that's game. It's pretty interesting. I wonder if you can get to that deck. I wonder if you can skip the noble stuff entirely. Just get horde. After you do your butchering and your bounty hunter stuff at the start, just get horde and buy provinces. Rather than do anything with nobles. I could believe that is super fast. It'd be interesting to see. I'd be interested in seeing that played out against something that's just like, I gotta get noble. So here we have bad 2-5 probably. And I guess you can do a bigger doctor, but I mean, if we're 5-2, that would be a totally different story, but the 2-5 is like pretty sad. It certainly makes it a lot worse. You could still get lucky. Because if you get lucky, then the doctor is. Yeah, so this is pretty rough, and they have the tracker. If my plan was to do doctor opening, I would have bought the patrician, not the tracker. For sure. Like this, I don't know. But this is just probably not going to work at all. If I had to guess. Tracer's probably just going to wait till he has like a pretty big hand with, only a couple, with like one of the estates in it. Do a bigger doctor orb. Or never. I mean, you don't have to. Tracer doing it. That's fine. Wasn't the best reveal ever for Tracer, so maybe I stick with first player. So it gets a nice boon. Really nice boon. It gets to top deck a Ab or Minstrel or whatever. So that's nice. You could top deck Minstrel Patrician, or you could top deck like Silk Merchant. Oh no, I'm bad at counting. I don't know why I thought he had 6. I would think about, yeah, that's fine. I think Lab. I can. What does Tracer have left? Pouch stuff, pouch copper. Does Tracer have a silver? Tracer has a silver. So it's pouch copper silver. I guess the delay is better. Yeah, the delay seems fine. I guess chesstick has a similar question here. I would just have already forgotten delay was on the board by this point in the game if I were playing. So I would only have done it if I were chesstick and I got to see Tracer doing it to show me about delay existing. I think I can believe, though, that from that, I mean, what else is in there? There's like just one more copper. I can believe that it should have been delayed doctor. Give yourself a shot at the estates. No one's going to ever trash the last 2 estates. They will simply be in the game for the rest of forever. I think you play the, well, I don't know. It'd be a little easier if you had pouch or something for chesstick. These decks are not taking off. I guess it is only turn 5, but they don't appear to be taking off. I don't even know what they take off to, right? You can just have a bunch of cheap, I mean, you can make money and have plus buy. The, it does. We'll see if they get any of them. Doctor found one. I don't know here if they just keep doing labs on top. Lab is a lot better than hireling here. Pretty much the whole game. Well, probably forever. You're just getting to play the lab right away almost all the time. You can take them. Silk Merchant is very weird to me. I could have believed in a minstrel, but Silk Merchant I'm not following. Silk Merchant I do not get. You don't need to buy. It's not like you could have just top decked a village if you're worried about actions. The Silk Merchant isn't doing a whole lot for you on that front. That's pretty confusing buy to me. I'm not seeing it. Oh, they're both down to 1 estate. They against all odds. Just look at that copper. You like Merchant Minstrel on top? This board needs a workshop. That's what it's asking for. That's the lab is strange to me. It's just I don't understand Tracer's Minstrel Silk Merchant there either, really. Like, they were drawing, so I'm a bit lost on their goals. It continues to make no sense to me to not have a village when you have this moat in deck. There we go. Hooray. Maybe Courier? Merchant's fine too. I'm fine with Merchant is like doing basically the job of Courier here. There aren't really huge number of exciting tricks or anything to do with Courier. I don't know that they're ever really tricks. Yeah, Tracer here has 2 overdraw or 3 overdraw. Added $0 last turn. You'd be super happy with a Sun's Gift here. Not Sun's Gift. What's the gold one? Whatever the gold one is. Sky. You'd be happy with Sky. I mean, you can probably toss your Doctor and a copper or whatever else to it. Estate. Like here, I don't know if I think Sky's still out. Maybe I wasn't paying super close attention, but like if chesstick hits Sky here, it would be fantastic. Yeah, this is super good. This is super good. I'm worried they're going to not take it. I guess you can count your money and see if you can still sneak in a delay. Yeah, I think you can fit a delay in. This seems fine. I don't know, you go double Courier. I think I would go double Courier. I mean, you can... Yeah, gold patrician. I could believe that too. Dislike this. Don't like the lab. Lab is it does feel safe and warm. That is true, Cave. Just look at how cozy that laboratory is. Got a nice roaring fire. Lots of shaped glass. That's what they call it. Shaped glass. Well, Tracer successfully has a lot of merchants. Should buy some golds. Loves the minstrel. Gotta love the minstrel. I almost never wear headphones while I'm doing commentary. So when I detect people unmuted, it's only by glancing over and seeing the green lights in Discord. I never actually hear it. Yeah. Well, I mean, except in the, the cosmic acid reflux field that we both can communicate through. We don't need Discord for that. Man, this gold is a great card. Like it just... Yeah. Yeah, the remaining boons are not great. And field is gone. Like the money boons are mostly... I think force might still be around, but... Earth might still be around too. The Earth isn't terrible, but I mean, Earth would be good. Tracer would get full use out of Earth, but it happened. I mean, here you just take a silver. Pretty sure. You can draw them. Yeah. Budget Mountain's Gift. Mountain's Gift at home. This is okay. Tracer can get the can do province gold and have the double province money. That chesstick bottom minstrel is silk. Chesstick still doesn't really have the action stuff worked out right. Chesstick just has one minstrel, but 3 terminals. So you're like committing to buying a minstrel in the future because you bought this. So I mean, you don't have to have it this turn, but hopefully someone can only win because of Annex. We've got all the tools that Annex needs. Do they have one of them? Oh, it's a wisp. Yeah, that's true, Avi. If you have the overdraw, you can do it. I do think they're gonna get into a draw issue. So Tracer doesn't go for the money. Okay, gets this, uses the silver to get it. Okay. Yeah, that makes some sense too. Oh, it didn't even province. Interesting. Yeah, it just doesn't do much here because there's no gain in play. Besides, security, I guess. Or limited gain in play. There, of course, they did a little gain in play just this past turn, but what is chesstick's money up to? I would try to add a little money here as chesstick. Yeah, those. Don't I feel like they're not even going to delay the doctor, even though it's okay. They did. I got worried there. It was just like weird. It was like delay and then back to buying stuff, and it's one of those things where it makes you worried they're thinking about the thing or not. I do not care for the laboratory in a surprise twist. It seems wrong, super wrong to me to not get to 16 here. Because Tracer's gonna double, you can't double. I mean, if you double, I guess double for you wouldn't be safe. So, but still, you kind of you need to have that threat at some point. Otherwise, they can lower to different points that you can't. If you have another patrician in hand already, it doesn't matter. Too much. I guess it still matters a little bit. You'd have to find the minstrel in time for the other patrician. Because you don't have that much top deck inspection stuff, and you can only get one hit out of each one. Which isn't to say that you're wrong, Haka. It's just maybe marginal. Shouldn't you play your merchants first and not your labs, since lab is like one of the things you may want to delay? I guess as long as you have more labs down here, it doesn't matter too. Nice wisp hit. River's nice. Did you do Province Gold double delay? Then Tracer has to take a bunch of duchies. And then who knows what'll happen. Any amount of provinces will just straight up lose. Like, chesstick's gonna get there with the 2 delayed labs. Probably not 100% guaranteed, but I mean, it can't be 100%, I don't think. Quite likely. Tracer do like triple duchy? The thing that's awkward is there's not really, you don't have any way to ramp up to triple. Triple province. There's no, like, you're not going to get an influx of enough money to do that. Ever. What else do they have here? Like, chesstick's just going to have to follow on the same kind of stuff. Maybe with not great delays. The last card. I don't know what the last card is. Probably. Lab sounds right. Tracer has 1 lab. 2 labs. So yeah, it must be 4-2. It must be lab. You go triple duchy. Can only do one delay. Unless forest. Is forest the last one? No, it's flame. Okay. So you can trash your doctor. I kind of felt like you trashed the doctor, but what do I know? Can't double province. That's just asking to lose. I would have trashed the doctor. You can get a little bit of use out of the doctor with the patricians, but it's real unlikely. Versus just not having it in deck, which is immediately just one card better draw. Yeah, you don't have the buy. I think you just triple. I mean, I'm not counting all the point stuff out because, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna get to that. Like, I don't think quad duchy does much for chesstick here. I don't think that works out. So the amount of draw between if chesstick does get triple duchy, the amount of draw between this turn and the last turn is pretty significantly different, though. You don't have river or the double delayed labs. I don't know then how the draw even goes. Now we know they left lab on bottom and they didn't play a minstrel, so they were still a little overdrawn, but not trashing the doctor sure doesn't do any favors. I'm going to be right back. We just get the triple dudgies. We did not get the undo back into trashing doctor. Tracer is plain as. Gets a field. What is Tracer at? Did Tracer have 17 before? I don't know if that amount of money means anything to Tracer. Or that extra dollar means anything to Tracer. Now the states are going to be a little different because they don't make up the province differentials the same way. So, Now, maybe enough, but we got 5 verse 3 on province and 3 verse 5 on duchy. What are you, 6 ahead? Something like that. $39 to $33. So you need 6 estates to make it up. You don't really have the buys for that. Of course, we don't even know chesstick's turn could do a number of different things. The threat of double is not the same as it used to be. Where does that put you? Province, estate annexed. 16. 37. Then that loses to province double estate annex. Is that right? Am I good at this? 30. Isn't Silk Merchant just better than Lab at this stage? To top deck for Tracer? I don't know. No. Play one of your play one of them before you play your last cantrip at least. You should have played them before the patricians, but play the tracker. Maybe you'll get wind. You never know, you might have wind. Tracer didn't get wind, did he? He got field, right? So oh. Sad. I thought Flame was the last. You gotta play the tracker now. I think they have exactly 16. I would play the tracker, not the doctor, and see what I get on boons. There's still 2 more labs in there. And then I don't know what else, but pouch, I suppose. I don't actually, Hawkeye, because I think doctor isn't getting you enough, almost regardless. And I feel like you actually need the wind or the sun. I think you need to actually move some crud from the top to the discard. See when sun will like actually net you stuff. Yeah, you could name Duchy if they haven't discarded their other Duchy. I don't know, or their. No, I think Kaka's right. I think Duchy is the correct name, but you do have to do it earlier. But also, I still think that I honestly think Tracker's just luckier or has outs that actually win for you versus Doctor maybe helps you a little bit but doesn't actually get you there. It's like you need to trash a Duchy for it to like. I mean, Tracer also cannot. Tracer's far from guaranteed to end the game on his turn if you don't get there now. So in that sense, I also prefer the Tracker because I think the out with Doctor involves lowering your score momentarily. Um, yeah, like if you could name Copper here, obviously it would could help. It could be a little clearer, but it's funny. This would still be undoable. Not anymore. That's not enough. That's still a buck short, I think. I guess the Tracker could still get there. We still, yeah, okay. The Tracker can still get there if it hits nope. See, if you do the Tracker first, the way it was ordered, you would have gotten to the lab with the C's gift, or with the merchant, I mean, plus the C's gift. You would have got to the lab. So you would have gotten to see the Wisp play, the next card beyond the Wisp, and the Wisp reveal, though I don't think there are any good reveals left. I think all the good reveals are gone. Um, yeah, I wouldn't have even touched Province, I don't think. I don't know. Tracer just needs 12 now. I mean, Tracer might take a tie if he only hits 10. How much debt would you have ended with? 3? Or would you have spent it and done the 2? I guess you would have spent it, so you would end with 5. Is that right, or am I still counting? But I guess this is already 12, right? We're very close to it. Hmm. That one also felt very winnable for chesstick to me, though it was not like clear advantage. Just that if some of the tactic things were played a little cleaner, odds would have gone up a fair amount. So not. I think that was definitely winnable for chesstick. Yeah, and Treasure definitely cost himself a coin with his last buy versus the Silk Merchant. There wasn't like a Silk Merchant pile out, was it? That he was. I don't think they were that low. That would have been the only thing for not getting Silk Merchant over Lab there. But it's hard to imagine there was a Silk Merchant pile out that didn't get double province and score enough points. That seems like a hard sell. Develop, develop. What are you doing here? I guess it's Menagerie, Bridge Troll, Villa, Trickery. Do you do the plot, or do you just take your gainer? Tracer goes for the plot. You couldn't. It would be hard to like be mad at someone who's like, "Oh, I'm going to get an Ironworks now." That wouldn't be crazy at all. Okay, chesstick goes with Ironworks. See me just top deck a. Maybe you go ahead and throw silver on top. One seems pretty okay. I mean, you're not going to get any use unless you just want another develop on top. That's the only thing. I mean, you can put one of the cantrips. I mean, it would be Menagerie, I guess, if you're just throwing a cantrip up, but. And it like maybe you'll have the hand you can activate the Menagerie, but it'll be like a stupid way, right? You'll just play your coppers and buy a. Yeah. It wouldn't be. I don't really like this that much from Tracer. Obviously, you want to have the Menageries, but for this turn, it doesn't do much. For probably the first few times you draw it, it won't do much. This is weird. You're buying a silver, but you're top taking the Menagerie. That does not seem remotely correct to me. If you're going double Menagerie, that at least I can understand a little more. I think Tracer should pop here. I mean, getting the Bridge Trolls is nuts. I mean, they kind of suck with develop. I don't think it could work. I mean, it can work. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. The potion. The old developed villa. Brick. Tracer gets a treasure. The here Tracer will trash copper, buy villa, play Menagerie for draw. I don't know why you play the villa first. That's kind of weird. But it doesn't matter a whole lot. Chesstick doesn't have enough money to. I mean, you can gain a silver. Chesstick has a merchant, but not a silver, which is kind of weird. I mean, wouldn't you just get the more menageries? I guess the merchant can help you activate them. Razor looks better right now from these position or from this position. It's not a good look for the potion if the first time you draw it, you buy Sinister Plot. That doesn't feel like your potion did its job, or that your plan was a good one. Gonna have to play out the coppers to get the activation again, which is fine. I'm not convinced that it's still not a trash there for Tracer, but I can see the idea. If you think the game is only going to last during the part where we do the villa stuff, then it makes some sense, but shouldn't go straight to... He had extra buys. He should have put the menagerie into the deck first before triggering that shuffle. That's just plain too quick, but it'll work out fine for Tracer in the end. But you could have potentially done a little more moving and grooving on this turn. You didn't really try to do any gain and play off your villa buy, which was totally possible. Feels a little weird to empty the villas here. But probably it's better than letting your opponent... I mean, I think it's probably right, but it does feel a little weird because, of course, your deck is super reliant on that trick to do its thing at all. But what kind of deck can chesstick even build at this point? So there's that potion. It's just gonna be too late. This is like 2 merchants now, no silver. So it's just... I don't know about that. Tracer should just slam duchies and estates, right? That's got to be completely safe. And it also lets us leave this game. He probably won't do it, but it looks super safe. Lower the estates a little bit for us, Tracer. Because you can blow up your plot next turn, and it's just like... Alright, there we go. It would be super funny. So, like, chesstick can play Bridge Troll and gain a duchy, but I don't think he's gonna... I don't think there's any draw off that makes it good enough. What game is this? Is this 5? I haven't been writing the scores down, which is... Tracer won the second one, right? And then chesstick, and then Tracer, and then Tracer again? I think is how it's gone. Or something close to that. I think it's 4-1 in any case. I can use old Dombot. My memory did not fail me. Okay, now we have a lot of new stuff. This is a modern Dominion board. What's our oldest card, is it? I mean, okay, let's say like chronologically, not if you like. This is like Market Square's our oldest one. Is that correct? I think so. Now, of course, we have some in the early sets via 2E, but or do we even? Maybe I'm making that up. Touchy. Trapper's Lodge. That's the old top decker. Wolf Den. That's that card you just don't pay attention to until the end of the game. The Lost Arts. Put Lost Arts. You could put Lost Arts on a lot of things here, and it would work. Do about what you needed it to do. Putting it on the Falconers would be pretty fun. So interesting. I think I like how this has worked out for chesstick better than Tracer. I guess it's possible, Cave. It seems like if you got to that point, probably cursive would work for you if you were the person who could do that. Chesstick gets the paddock, which I'm not convinced of. I think I would have done Falconer, but Chesstick buys a Night Watchman. I just don't usually like buying Night Watchman kind of ever. I don't know. What would I get instead here? I think I'd probably just take another silver. I mean, I can get not wanting to get another silver here. That's not crazy to me, but I would have probably just taken a Market Square over the Night Watchman. Tracer. I mean, Tracer is trashing cards, which I'm convinced is good. Okay. Yeah, it's like a nice utility when you can get the use out of it. It just doesn't come up so often. It's just hard for 3. I mean, other 3 things like that, like an expedition or something, are just like a lot more value. Not that it's competing with those in the same sense, but just a kind of comparison. And even expedition is no super card. So chesstick is like, I'm gonna have all the horses. I'm down with that. I do think you should buy a Falconer now. Sacred Grove seems like not the way to get plus buy. I would just use my Falconer to get a Market Square. And plus I can use my Falconer to get like super good cards like Royal Galley. Yeah, but I don't need that many buys. Okay. And I do want Royal Galleys, and I would like a sacrifice. I would just like 4s, so I would have bought a Falconer. 4s and 3s. I can certainly believe that the gallery is better than the grove, and the comparison there is a lot closer. But I can get behind that sentiment for sure. I mean, if you're the first person to be doing the put 4 horses in your discard and trigger a shuffle thing, you probably win here anyway. And chesstick looks, it's hard to tell actually. Without the trashing, maybe Tracer's actually a lot closer there. I would take a sacrifice, but well, I can believe it at that point, Cave. I just don't know if, yeah, it did do it once. That was a good, it did get a good play once. I really, really don't like the second Sacred Grove. The first one I can understand a little bit, but the second one I really dislike. Will chesstick have enough actions on their turns? That's the real question. Where will they manage to find some actions? Why does everyone hate Falconer so much? Like, this board just screams Falconer to me. At least one. Even you know, even just, I don't know. I feel like you can play with a pair of tide pools here and not be mad. Chesstick is way in the hole, which is really funny. I hadn't looked at the score for a while. It's like, did Tracer take the wisp or not? I assume he did, but how many? No, there are only 11 wisps, right? I don't remember. How many wisps are there? Ah, Trash is sacrifice. That makes sense. I wonder if Tracer will get a Night Watchman now. This might be a spot where the Night Watchman is doing something for you. Playing the Royal Galleys on the horses just to kind of make the Royal Galleys non-terminal but do nothing is kind of funny. It's not like the worst fallback thing. And I guess in some spots you may know you may want to do that with the Royal Galley and save it for a future turn. Chesstick did not find horses here. Well, not enough horses anyway. So much, just the draw imbalance here is just not there. I mean, what Chestick's deck is just not, he's actually just not close to drawing deck. Because the paddocks are, of course, not a lot of draw. And they haven't trashed. I feel like Royal Galley, you play the Market Square. That's got to be a little better than the paddock. mean, maybe it doesn't really matter. I could believe that. Fraser really doesn't need this province. Like, I would probably do galleys and market squares and just shore up my draw, but you should totally trigger the shuffle. If chesstick is thinking about stopping, that's not correct. You absolutely play the royal galley. Now that makes the order. I guess you do. It's okay to play the groves first. That seems right. Actually, I would sack the wisp. Oh, I see. Chesstick sells all the shelters. I would sack the wisp. It's still hard. I mean, okay, well, sacking the OE is a little better. I don't know the OE's on top, but it worked out. This still looks really hard. When I say ignore Wolfden, I maybe don't mean this much ignoring of the wolf. They just followed what I said, and it. You don't need keep 5 uniques, whatever it is, because it's way more than that. You kind of have to. Topher. You don't have to, but you kind of have to. I don't know, how many Gallerias does he have? Here go the curses. Exciting. Exciting stuff. I think if Chesstick takes a Falconer after one of those paddocks, early paddocks, maybe before the 3rd or 4th paddock, I like Chestick's chances there. But it's still hard. I mean, they were definitely behind on track. Anyway, I thought those were pretty fun boards. Thanks everyone for watching. Congrats to Tracer. We'll catch you all later.